to the Sideload, where we're learning new ways to clean our glasses we never even considered. A thing that nobody but our guest will know what I'm talking about today. I'm your host, Will Sattelberg. This week I'm joined by Stephen Schenck, news editor at Android Authority and the person who trained me at Android Police. So if you hate this podcast, you know exactly who to blame for it.
Yeah, any complaints with anything Will ever writes, just please send in my direction.
Send it, Stephen.
Full accountability.
Stephen's joining me to discuss some of our personal favorite gadget failures throughout history. And I add gadget specifically because I had a feeling that Stephen was going to say that I'm one of his failures. So I'm just getting in there now.
Never.
Gadget failures throughout history, because don't failures deserve the same respect as successes? Stephen, thank you for joining me. I'm very excited. Fresh off jury duty, sort of.
Yeah, no, one day. Jury duty.
One half day of jury duty.
I kind of miss not getting an actual case. I've only done one proper jury duty in my life, and it was interesting. I don't know I was that impactful as a citizen doing my judicial duty, but you're talking about gadget failures. I'm reminded of one that didn't make this list. I tried to do a Rescue Rangers couples costume years ago, and the gadget part is what fell apart in the end. There, I couldn't get the jumpsuit dyed the right color purple. Just fools aren't.
So what would you go as instead? What was the backup plan?
That didn't end up doing the
It just didn't. It just
at all.
Nothing came together.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the gadget part is the whole. I mean, that's the costume here. The who's I going to be? The I guess Dale. Who's the one who looked like Magnum PI? You just wear like a Hawaiian shirt and that's it.
Yeah, I can see how that kind of falls out. You should have went as just Magnum PI. That would have worked. That's your backup.
If I could only grow a mustache to save my life.
Oh, if only you could get a fake mustache that looks exactly like the Magnum PI mustache.
A fake mustache has been a component of a surprising number of Halloween costumes I've done over the years, now that I think about it.
See? You probably have one. There's probably one in a drawer behind you. I do have one. Right?
No, it's actually in my kitchen, but...
Well, where else would you keep your spare...
Where do you keep your fake mustaches?
Exactly. Stephen, thank you for joining me. I'll let you, because we both brought a pile of stuff that we think is worth talking about. Stuff from our own collection, not just failures that we remembered. I mean, this started, and I hope I'm not spoiling one for you, but this started with us last week talking about, we were chatting together, talking about the red hydrogen one and other similar failures. So I'm excited to see what you brought, and I'll let you kick it off.
Because I'm super lazy. I just grabbed the red hydrogen one there. I figured that's
there. We go. Okay.
One and done.
Perfect. Let's get into the red hydrogen one then. I'm excited to talk about this phone.
Next.
No, but it's such a what a unique failure.
Yeah, I started noticing a theme with the things that I was picking at, and that there's like a undue weight of 3D related things that have failed here. And I just think as consumer products have been trying to nail 3D stuff for decades now. Still,
I would argue VR is the continued, we can get it to happen.
Very good. But we're trying to get the get the resolution up so you can't notice the pixels, get the tracking speed up to the
it's better than ever.
There's a perfect it's attainable at some point. We're getting there, but I've done
Nobody
some
wants
awful
it.
ones over the years. I thought of some last second that I wish I could find here, but I can talk about them at least.
Do you remember the PlayStation TV that did glasses free 3D that Sony shipped? It was like a specific.
There was a PlayStation void in my life. I picked up a PlayStation like a year or years after like next generation, back when everyone had an Xbox. I grabbed the PlayStation 1. I had a PlayStation 2, but then that's it. I've never used a PlayStation since the 2.
So
I think I have a PSP somewhere.
Well, that's all you need anyway. That's the best. We all know that's the best PlayStation console. It's the only one that plays Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. That's not true. It's on
Jesus Christ.
PS3 and PS4. The PlayStation television, I think, launched during like the tail end of the PS3 era, when they started going crazy on like accessories. They were like,
but that seems to be one of the lines with like 3D TVs being a thing.
Right. It's like around the 3DS time where they're like, it's post Avatar. They're like, let's do this. So its big like feature was that it did glasses free 3D, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry. It's not glasses free. That's where I'm screwing this up. You had to wear glasses. The thing that it could do was if you were just one person, you could watch like a 3D movie or play a 3D game in it.
Oh, and someone else could watch something. Yeah.
Right. So if it was two people, you could do like split screen multiplayer, but not like co-op multiplayer, but not split screen. You'd each have your own view. It wouldn't be 3D, but it would use it would use the tech to like show you each a different picture, which was a really cool idea.
Not polarized. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it was a cool idea. I feel like the reason it failed, it was probably expensive, but I think it only shipped in 32 inches, and like by 2012 you're that's too small of a television.
No, it's not super conducive to a real immersive gaming experience.
It might have been a little bigger, but it certainly wasn't like the 55 inches that became the default of the 2010s. So
I'm kind of surprised it happened at all, though, because like one problem I think about Sony is there's not nearly enough like overlap between its TV stuff, its gaming stuff, its audio stuff. They're a little too siloed, I think, for the company's own interests.
Was the Red Hydrogen one the last, like, because it does glasses free 3D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the last 3D phone?
No. Well,
has there been one since?
I'm thinking like mainstream and US. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there have.
You're sure that, I guess the technos of the world will ship those for sure.
I definitely at IFA this year saw someone doing, I mean, it might have been, instead of a phone, I think it was like one of those Windows running like handheld console things with like built-in game controls. Yeah, that did Glasses 3 3D. So but people are still doing it. I just don't know. And in like similar form factors and something portable, but
yeah. I don't know. It was
no one who matters.
It's just such a bummer because I do. Well, Avatar 1 is fine. I am such a big on the
Never
record
seen an
fan.
Avatar. I know you are an Avatar.
The Way of Water. That second one's good, man. And I'm not the only person who thinks it's like the first one's whatever and the second one is kind of. I'm really excited for that third one. So I'm.
Have you been to like the Disney Avatar land?
No.
Really?
We're going. Like I think I will be if plans come together. I believe I will go early 20 or maybe either Christmas. So like around this time next year, or maybe like December, January into January 2027. But like roughly a year
safe
from
about
now.
it still existing then.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The sequels on the way. Yeah. I mean,
I'm good. I'm good. I have heard from my Disney World loving fiance and her family, who has been several times, that it is like incredible and kind of the highlight of the park, even if you don't care about Avatar. It's just like a cool place to
like. I only have the
explore.
Jenny Nicholson videos to go on.
And she loves it too, man. And she loves it too. And so I'm yeah. I mean,
she loves
everybody
most
go watch
things,
those.
to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Endless enthusiasm.
That's true. It's tough. There's not all. It's tough to talk about the Red Hydrogen one because nobody really remembers it except for real sickos like us.
Oh, it was weird. So this is, if you guys aren't really familiar with this was launched by, I mean, the Red brand, they do very high-end digital, one of the early big digital camera companies, but it sprung from Oakley. The guy who invented Oakley sunglasses is behind this, and he was at the launch event. He's a very California dude. I mean, it tracks that he is the Oakley guy. He was really enthusiastic about this. There's a lot to like about the hardware. It's weird as hell. It weighs a metric ton. It has these awesome scalloped, like, finger grippy. It's not like a built-in, it doesn't need a case. It's so robust. And I was talking to you last week about this ridiculous expansion port they put in the back here. Of course, this bombed so quickly, there were never any like expansions for it. But this was the era of like the LG G5 came out a few years before this. People were moto mods. Like the idea of doing expansions wasn't unheard of, but what the hell? I think they wanted to put like a full-on like one of their big digital cameras in the back of this. It's the only thing that makes sense with this kind of bandwidth. It was a mess. I didn't think to charge this up ahead of time, which would have been smart of me. Not that I really could have shown the auto stereoscopic screen over a webcam here, but I mean, I like this. It has dual cameras on the back here, so you can take pictures in 3D and videos in 3D to share with other people who have this exact phone and can view them. I guess you could send them to people like who had a Nintendo 3DS if there were any way to message between these platforms.
You'd have to load it onto an SD card, move the SD card over to the 3DS, and then you'd be you'd be good to go. If it was a new 3DS, you'd have to take the back plate off and put the SD card in. God. When that involved screws. So, and I know this as a new 3DS XL owner, it's a pain in the ass. Thinking,
and also dual front as well. What are these second ones?
Yeah.
It's gonna have like dual prox sensors. I don't know what's going on over here.
I have no memory of what was actually built into this thing, to be honest with you. My biggest memory of it is its cameo appearance in Fast and Furious. That's the thing that I most remember about this phone. That like 3 years after it launched and died, it was
right. It was already a distant memory for everybody by then, and then pops up in every single person in Fast 7. Was it?
It's 9. It's the post-COVID one. No, it's the one that comes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because it makes sense for them to have it when they're shooting Fast 9 because Fast 9 was supposed to come out in like May or April of 2020. And so like you can see if it's a 2019 phone, you're like, oh, okay, I see why they chose to put this in the movie or whatever. And then by the time, I guess it's only 2 years later, but by the time it comes out in 2021, post-COVID, it's not even just like a failure. It's like because of the memory hole of COVID. It's like a distant failure.
Times, yeah.
It's like seeing like it would be like if Dom Toretto walked up and used a rotary phone. Is like what it becomes at that point. Like it's like, oh, like when is this movie set? Like what year is it?
Yeah. I do think it's a shame. This is probably the last like commercial gadget we got like this with a stereoscopic camera, because now, I mean, with like XR headsets starting to get really good, people are interested. I would assume interested in more like 3D content, and most people can't produce that kind of stuff on their own. You can't just go out and shoot a video someone's going to be able to enjoy with a headset. That said, I sort of understand why we haven't seen, more interest in that, because if someone's moving around and shooting in 3D and you're sitting still and watching that, especially something handheld that's going to be all jittery, you are going to get so motion sick so fast that...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Still excited for that Steam frame that was announced this week, though. That's they're gonna get me again. I'm gonna get sucked into buying another VR headset.
At the
it's
specs
cool.
of that thing, because I know what's the problem. I know I'm gonna be upset because I just dropped. I broke my Vive Pro 2 over the summer. I just bought a new one rather than like looking at all into the replacement options, the new, more modern ones. Because you can use this with a PC, can't you?
Yeah, it has this little. I'm sure you can use it adapted, but you can use it
there's
wired.
A wireless adapter. Right.
It's got that wireless adapter that uses it broadcasts over 6 gigahertz to like avoid like network congestion with your router, and so obviously it's going to have issues with walls. But if your PC's like 10 feet away from you or something, it's right there. And apparently the people who got early access said it worked really well. It felt like it was wired.
I never bothered getting the wireless adapter for the Vive Pro 2 because that limited resolution and refresh rate. You couldn't do maximum.
Which this won't. This is like an improvement on that too. It won't do that.
So I'm curious. Probably not going to want to pay whatever they're asking for. But a couple of years down the line, I'll check it out.
If it's $500, it's an instant buy for me. And if it's $800,
if it's sub $1,000, I think, depending on how good the hardware is.
They said it'll be cheaper than the Index. And the Index was 1,000. They said it's sub.
And they stopped selling the Index, right?
Yes. So you never know. It's early next year. We'll see. I mean, I was surprised by the Steam Deck pricing when that dropped. So I'm still kind of surprised by the Steam Deck pricing, actually.
Did it permanently drop? They had that big sale for.
Well, no. So just when the Steam Deck came out is what I'm saying. They have dropped it a little bit when the OLED came out. They dropped. What was it? I think the base model got cheaper, or at the very least, it's like always on sale. You can constantly find it on sale. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, let's stick on gaming. I have 2 gaming failures. Neither of them are going to be unknown to people who are listening to this, but I
have 2 too.
Still am a big fan. Okay, we'll do.
Actually, no. One I guess stole yours because I'm like just.
Well, okay. Well, then let's do that. I have a full complete kit. So for audio listeners, and by the way, this might be a more fun episode if you watch the video. So if you were listening to this on the podcast catcher of your choice, go check out 9 to 5 Google's
I'm sad
YouTube
I can't actually prove this. I'm using the Stadia box as the stand my camera is on right now.
Okay, so you do have the box here. Yeah. I joined Android Police in 2021. So I wasn't even there for like the launch of the real popular days of popular minutes of there we go. Stephen held up a photo of the box propping up his monitor. I wasn't even there for the really like successful, like Google is fully behind this days of Stadia. And yet I think I was shipped 3 of these by like various PR teams. And like
for a minute,
in between when I joined AP and when it shut down.
Yeah, this was like the Google Home Mini briefly. Like everyone was just giving these away.
I got one from AT&T. I think it was the first anything that I was shipped by a PR company was like a Galaxy S21 to test out 5G Stadia streaming. So it came with like this and a phone and a SIM card, obviously.
Oh, and the claw thing?
And the claw thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, but this is fully like, I think I've taken the box. I've opened the box before, but it's got everything still in there. There's a Chromecast Ultra.
Oh yeah. I didn't unbox
sealed.
my second until like, I thought we were running out of the deadline to do the Bluetooth conversion.
Which I think you can still do. They keep extending it,
they keep pushing it back. Yeah. Definitely through the end of this year. Why does it have an expiration date?
Just leave it. Just let it be. Just let it exist online. It'll die on its own. People won't care.
That server online. It's not like they're going to take like the support docs down. They're just going to have like the online flashing tool removed.
Stadia is so interesting because I actually think I think Google had the right idea on what people wanted to do with video games. I just think they had the wrong solution. You were a big Stadia
at the right time for me. Yeah, because my computer, I hadn't updated it in a while. My GPU was a piece of trash. I couldn't run like modern AAA titles. I played like Far Cry 5 through for the first time, all on Stadia. It was a wonderful experience. I mean, yeah, the only thing you didn't have was like 60 hertz gameplay. Other than that, fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, which wasn't, but it worked better than you'd think. I had a pretty rough time with it.
Yeah, lag wasn't a problem for me.
It was rough for me at my apartment when we had Spectrum as our internet provider, and when we moved here and when we bought the house and we got FiOS, I have not had any issues with cloud streaming or any kind of.
FiOS solves all problems.
It does a little bit. It certainly solved the problems that Spectrum was delivering to me. I feel like this idea of like people do want to play like console quality or PC quality games anywhere they go, or have the flexibility to play it on whatever device they want was, I think we've seen that over the last 6 years, like bear out to be true. It's just that what Google didn't see coming was devices like the Steam Deck or its various rivals, right? I really genuinely think that like the idea of portable gaming, I want to play this wherever, was true. It was with dedicated hardware that didn't require an internet connection at all times to be functional. I think was just the one little piece they missed here.
Well, I mean, I think with Google, the problem was it didn't have the best model for how you get access to the games compared to like Xbox that was or the GeForce other Now. It was weird. Right. The Pro subscription, you would get like a few each month that you would then keep as long as you still subscribe. But
they tried to like mix and match how all of these services worked, and it never fully felt so. Like, you know, this launches in like the heyday of Xbox Game Pass, and like no one likes Xbox Game Pass anymore. Who could have seen that coming except for anybody who has watched the streaming movie industry, balloon the way it is. But I feel like Xbox Game Pass was right there, and they were adding cloud streaming as like an experiment at like the same time, except if you signed up for it, you also got this like massive library of titles with no additional charge. And Stadia was like, you don't own the console you play these on. You don't own the actual games because they're not. I mean, you never own them, but you don't even have them physically, right? You can't even like trade it into GameStop when you're done. You're paying full price for all of these, and you can't. If you don't have internet, you can't take them with you. Like I think they just like kind of went into this market being like, well, we'll just succeed because we're Google. In the same way that Amazon, and there's been reporting on this lately because like this quote from like a previous Amazon or I guess Amazon vice president, I think, keeps floating up from LinkedIn where they were like, oh, we tried for 10 years to beat Steam and we couldn't beat Steam. It's like, yeah, because like just because you have all of the money and like the brand recognition doesn't mean that like people are going to want to just switch to you no matter what like you're offering them. I don't know. It's frustrating because I to this day think Stadia could have thrived with like, you know, if it had gone in like 20% of a different direction. Just frustrating.
Yeah, ironically, some of like the game ownership concerns started resolving themselves when it shut down. That was really nice that Ubisoft gave, if you bought a game on Stadia, you got it added to your account on PC. You can just use it there. I was frustrated though. I think I first bought Cyberpunk through Stadia, and
it was the best place to play it at launch.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, it was. No one could handle it. It was crashing machines. They couldn't handle the power of the game. But Stadia was like the one reliable place to play it launch weekend.
Yeah. What was your, if you remember, you can ballpark it. What was your refund dollar amount for Stadia? Because they refunded all the games. If you bought a game, you got it refunded. So like I had only bought a couple games and I bought them on steep discount, but I feel like I remember you sending me your dollar amount and it was like in the hundreds. Like,
it couldn't
for
have
sure.
been.
I don't know, because if you only buy
was Cyberpunk. I was everything else I waited until it was like $5 or $10, and I couldn't have more than a dozen of those. It was probably like 150.
That's still a lot of money to get back from Stadia. I think I got like 15 for my games. Stadia. But I keep this box fully loaded.
Game.
That Bomberman game was the Switch one, right? The one that launched on the Switch or something else?
I don't know.
Oh,
well, it's just a cloud-based thing. You go online to like a lobby and it would match you with players, and
I don't know. Do you think, because like Luna's still around and so is the Nvidia stuff, but that's kind of different. Like, do you think this is going anywhere, or are we just, is game streaming kind of like destined to live in this optional like third tier for the rest of its life?
No. I think it's going to become the mainstream really, really quick. I mean, I've seen a couple of think pieces about this being like the last major generation for consoles, and I think this is a big reason why. It's all going to go into the cloud. It doesn't make sense for people.
You don't think we pivot to like
hardware
PCs? Like you don't like, I feel like the Steam machine, not to keep talking about this news announcement, but the Steam machine is kind of, that's what Xbox wants to do with its next console. I mean, it's much needed competition for Sony, but I feel like for hardcore gamers, quote unquote, that's where the market will go. And then if you're a little more casual and you have a fast enough internet connection, then maybe you can do streaming.
Or like some sort of thin client where there's like some level of rendering going on locally, but most of it going on in the cloud. I don't know. It could be some hybrid solution. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I've when you have a fast enough internet connection, it's nice. And I guess Sony's approached it a little bit too. They just added, and you have to be on their most expensive subscription platform, but they just added to the PlayStation Portal the ability to stream games over the internet with no console.
Oh yeah.
So which it should have been there from the start. The thing is 2 years old now, but still good to see that they're adding to it as one of the like
better late than never.
PS Portal owners. I don't use mine very much. I do like it a lot, but I haven't been playing a ton on PlayStation lately. I've mostly been playing on my Switch 2 and my Steam Deck. So portability.
Too many options, man.
Yeah. Okay, you go next. We both did Stadia, but you go next. What's your next failure?
Stadia. Well, I am going to stay in the Google sphere, but move a little bit away from gaming into this little guy that I love very much. No shot.
Hey! For the audio listener, we're both holding Chromecast audios. We both dug up. Well, I had to dig mine up. Mine was in a box in our basement.
Oh, I unplugged mine for the first time in 5 years just to show this to you. It was very, very hot.
No, that's bad. I love this thing. I know I just said it was in a box. It never got unpacked when we moved, but at the apartment, I used this thing up through the apartment. And yeah, it was just, it's probably peak Google gadget for me because it just worked. You just plugged it in, you set it up once and it would just function as intended. It would get your music stream and it would play it through whatever speakers you plugged it in, and it was cheap and you can't ask for anything else.
Yeah, and it was a great way to just extend the lifespan of older systems. You didn't want to go out and buy, a smart speaker. I have a super old system from my childhood because the one thing I have that has a phono amp still attached to it. So I have a record player hooked up and the Chromecast audio, and that's it.
There we go. That's all you need.
You can. I was just thinking, I never took advantage of the analog output on this also has a little optical connection inside. If you wanted to, you could hook this up with a Toslink adapter and get digital audio out. So you can get full quality with like a more modern system if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because it didn't stick around long enough, I think, for a lot of people to take advantage of that. And even though Google doesn't do this, there are still companies making very similar products where you can, I mean, you're not using the, Chromecast API or whatever it is, but you're casting from devices or just streaming from the cloud directly to the receiver. But
I sometimes feel like Google did not embrace how good Cast is enough, or like they did it first, and then I would say over the last like decade, it's really fallen behind. I've ranted on it a billion times.
Cast works well? Like, I like the idea of it. I think the implementation never quite came together as cleanly as it needed to.
When I was in college, which I would say was like peak Chromecast era, that's 2013 to 2017, right? And I think 2017 is when they discontinued this, and that's kind of the end of the beginning of the end. We had a Chromecast in the living room, and I casted like a first gen Chromecast. I used that thing all the time to listen to like podcasts around the house, to stream YouTube videos or whatever, like all the time. It never had any major issues that I remember. I feel like these days
not major issues. I'm just finding it like very annoying. But my every occurrence of casting to this is I'm listening to music. It's fine while I'm doing it, but when I'm going to turn it off, then for about the next 5 minutes, every device I have, I get some notification popping up. The Chromecast is still on. Do you want to stop this? I must disconnect 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. That feels like rust building up around the Cast protocol, because I don't remember but I don't cast a lot anymore. Like the only thing I occasionally cast to is the Nest Hub Max in our kitchen, and every time I cast to it, I have like something goes wrong with it, which didn't used to be the case, and it's so frustrating because Cast is such a like AirPlay. I feel like still works fine if you're like a hardcore Apple user, but if you're not, like it's annoying to try to figure out if your app or whatever, if your device has support for it. But I feel like they haven't let the dust settle on AirPlay as much as Google has on Cast, up to and including, and I've said this a billion times, but like I will never stop being frustrated that the Pixel tablets dock did not function as a Cast-enabled speaker unless the tablet was docked, which made no sense to me. That thing should have just worked as a speaker. Like,
while we're talking about the dual purposes for things, I would have loved this. Why? I mean, I know why not, because it's going to add 30 cents a component cost. But why not just in like further generations of Chromecast, just for the regular video one, add an audio output? Yeah, and they could also 100%. Be a Chromecast audio then.
Because I think this thing was like, I mean, maybe it was 35, but I feel like it wasn't more than $35. It was like 25 to $35 to buy this. It was so cheap.
I'm curious.
Well, how much they go on eBay?
I'm curious what I paid, if I can find my receipt.
Oh, your receipt? I definitely got this as a Christmas present, so I cannot find that receipt.
No, it's a different Chromecast.
It was so cheap though. Like it was such an easy, like, yeah, why wouldn't I add this to my like existing? And instead they were like,
I paid forget your existing $35.
Yeah, there we go.
2019.
Crazy good price. I love the design, by the way. I still love that it's got this like record, this vinyl styling on it.
Oh, that's clever. That's cute. Okay.
Yeah, it's. Did you never put that together?
No.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like an LP. It's cute. I like it a lot. I'm glad I brought it up. I'm glad I found it. I just picked, there's one box downstairs that anytime I'm looking for something that I remember having at our old apartment, I go, I bet it's in this box. It's just a box of like 200 like tangled up cables. And I was like, I bet
those boxes.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's not my only one, but that's the one that like, if I can't find it in my office, it's usually in this box of 200 cables downstairs, just tangled up. And like, sure enough, I picked it up. I picked up the mess of the nest, right, and just like looked around it, and I didn't see it. And then I saw that Chromecast power adapter, and I was like, that's it. And I followed the cable and found it. So,
nice.
Yeah, love
with
this thing.
A micro USB cord.
I know that's because like the biggest downside about it. Although I use I thought I actually used the Chromecast cable. I'm surprised I found it plugged in because I thought I used the Chromecast cable to charge my Ring camera batteries, which are micro USB.
Okay.
But I guess now that I found the other cable that was plugged into this, I don't know what cable I'm
using.
Couldn't have been that then. So it was a gray micro USB cable that I thought had a Google logo on it. No idea what that's from. But yeah. Anyway, okay. We keep mirroring each other. Do you have a Nintendo gadget next to you? Not to spoil a pick. Did you grab that? Do you have that? Is that your 3D? There we go. Okay. So we'll match each other again on this one, and we'll do it a Nintendo block. So you talk about what you're holding first. Describe it for the audio listeners.
I've got a Virtual Boy here. This was Nintendo's. Oh, I'm going to be wrong here. 95, 96, sort of first effort into actual 3D. And it is 3D and it works really, really well as long as you can live with the super restrictive limitations that this system they cooked up with, carries with it. Your image is in monochrome, and the entire thing is really, really heavy. Even though it looks like a VR headset, this is not attaching to your head. This is sitting on the table. That's probably the most part of this that's held up the worst is the stand is super fragile. Yeah. But if you can live with those limitations and you don't mind like playing it kind of hunched over, craning your neck the whole time, it was decently fun. I didn't pick this up until I want to say like 2010 or so, years after it was a distant memory to most people. And it does not have many it doesn't have many games, period. It has good games, fewer still. But with it coming out, with the Switch 2 accessory coming out now, everyone's thinking about this again. And for my money, it was before its time. It was one of these instances of a company just deciding it's going to do a 3D product and having to make do with the technological limitations at the time. The display on these things is crazy. It's actually it's a 1D, 2D, one-dimensional LED array. It's basically a sort of like how a flatbed scanner works, and it has like a camera that's a line that then moves across the scanning platter. This is just a line of LEDs. It's stationary, and then a mirror moves back and forth really quickly, and it sort of scans that single line of LEDs across your eye, and that's how the display works. It's the only way Nintendo apparently could make something that was high contrast enough and fast enough updating in this sort of form factor. A little more esoteric details. This is the only Nintendo console that I know of that, I wonder if I can get this in focus on the camera here. The carts didn't use an edge connector, they used pins.
Oh.
And so I imagine it's very, very fragile. If you get this cart in at the wrong angle, you can bend a pin internally on this thing. It's like an old PDA dock, basically. With the interface there. And it hasn't been a problem for me because I don't change the carts in this very frequently, as there aren't that many good ones to play. We got Red Alarm.
I pulled up Red Alarm. There we go. I pulled up the numbers. It's 22 officially released Virtual Boy games. 8 of them exclusive to Japan, 3 of them exclusive to North America. The other 11 released in both regions, according to Wikipedia. So
I really collecting these is insanely expensive. It's hard to get them. Period. They're super rare. A lot of these. I really need to get like a programmable flash card. But again, those are also rare because who's buying them?
Yeah. The good news, I guess, for people who are Virtual Boy curious is that you're going to be able to buy that $100 Nintendo made Virtual Boy recreation that works with the Switch 2 if you really care about that. Which the good news for you, Stephen, is that might drive the cost of some of these games down just because they'll be more readily available. There will be a modern way to play it. So maybe
I'm not collecting them anyway.
Yeah, but you could. But But yeah, who knows what'll end up happening with that. But go ahead.
What I really wanted to show, and I realized last second I don't know where it is the controller for this thing. Are you familiar with the original Virtual Boy controller?
I thought I was, but now I'm trying to picture it. Is it like boomerang shape? No, that's not right.
Yeah, it's kind of like M-shaped. Like? It has like, it's sort of a regular D-pad controller. It has 2 D-pads. There's no analog stick. So that was innovative, but also it introduces that idea of having like a grip on both sides of it that we then started seeing take off a little in future controllers from other companies. I also think of like setting the standard at the time. This is going off on a tangent, but the Sega Saturn 3D controller. There was an analog controller. It came with Christmas Nights, and that ended up then forming the basis for like what became the Dreamcast controller. It similarly kind of had like grippy bits around the edges and shoulder triggers, but you can see the evolution.
Exactly, It looks like the Dreamcast controller without the space for the screen.
Yeah, without the VMU.
Yeah. That's nuts. And you're right. I do remember the Virtual Boy controller. I mean, it looks more comfortable than the N64 controller, maybe? I don't know.
Absolutely. That's not a very high bar there, Will.
It's a low bar, but I would use it. I'm glad not to keep talking about the Steam stuff. But I'm glad the spirit of let's make weird controllers still exists, because the Steam controller sure, it's got the 2 touchpads on it.
Oh yeah. The slightly
the new one. I mean, the old one was weird bad. I'm hoping that this new one is weird good. So we'll have to see.
It looks horrible to use. I mean,
but like the touchpads are kind of nice depending on the game you're playing on the deck. So if it's just a controller version of that.
I can't quite picture the need for dual touch thumb pads, though.
What was I playing? I played something with it. I think I might have screwed around with using that instead of the joysticks and binding a Visic, maybe? I don't know. I screwed around with them recently and was like, oh, this is more comfortable than I thought it would be.
Wasn't there, I guess, one of the recent Sony portable consoles had like dual touch circles? What was the most recent portable PlayStation thing?
The Vita?
Maybe.
The Vita had a touchpad on the back.
Oh, that's not what I'm thinking of, though. This has something like a slide out. Maybe it was one of their phones? No, they haven't done a phone since the
Xperia Play.
Yeah.
A failed gadget I wish I owned. They're making that. Is it Anbernix making a?
Maybe it's theirs. I'm thinking of
a knockoff phone, or is it Retroid? It might be Retroid. Oh, it's Ioneo. Ioneo is making a phone that looks similar to the Xperia Play that nobody remembers. That I don't expect most people to remember. It's a 2011 phone, I think. Yeah, 2011.
Did that not even have a proper D-pad? It had discrete buttons, the Xperia Play?
Yeah, had that, and then the little like the touchpad is stand-in for joystick.
Oh yeah, it did have the 2 little ones in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what. I swear I pictured like there was one that had just those, and they were bigger. It might be a knockoff.
The PSP Go was the other one I was curious if you were thinking of, but that did have a little like 3DS style joystick, like flat joystick. Very silly time in gaming. I brought Nintendo's other major failure, which is of course the Wii U. I don't think this needs an introduction. I think it is arguably.
I mean, it does if you forgot about it, which is a fair risk.
But it's such. To me, it's so like influential on the last 15 years of game, or 10 years, I guess, of gaming. As much as this is a failure, the product itself sold like 12 million units or something, of one of which is.
The only reason it stands out in my mind is the games that came out for it. There were like Mario Maker,
so that's
obviously.
The thing, is that the Wii U had like an incredible library of exclusives and no third-party games worth talking about.
Did it? Because I can just think of Mario Maker. I think there was a Kirby game and maybe a Luigi game.
Well, so I really like 3D World, which is the 3D Mario game on it. To this day, it's the best way to play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which I guess are not exclusives, but those
better
versions
than GameCube.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Twilight Princess was for GameCube as well, right?
Yeah. Twilight Princess is maybe a little bit
version too.
It's not terrible to go back to like the GameCube version of Twilight Princess. Most of the changes in the HD version are like quality of life improvements more than anything. Do you have to run?
No.
What do you have?
GameCube.
Oh, you have your GameCube. They're also kind of a failure, but not as much of a failure.
Oof.
I'm trying to think of
what makes it less of a failure.
Bayonetta 2 was a Wii U exclusive until it was ported. That's the thing, is that most of the stuff that people cared about on the Wii U has been ported to Switch up to like this year's. There we go.
Does yours take full-size DVDs? Because mine does.
No, my GameCube does not take full-size DVDs. In fact, Nintendo, I think, did full-size CDs or DVDs specifically to avoid what you're doing right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to talk about the Wii U because like there's almost no reason to plug it in and use it anymore, which is why my gamepad is up on a shelf and not.
But I mean, at least
under a
it's
TV.
Of the era. I assume it's all HDMI. Like unlike the Wii, it'll play nicely with modern televisions.
Correct, and in fact, it's kind of the best way to play Wii games because it can play all of the Wii games but has an HDMI output. So I mean, there are reasons to keep it plugged in. Although my Wii is modded and can play whatever ISO file I drop on it, so that's probably still the best way. But yeah, man.
But they shut the store down, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you can't re-download anything. Just what's on there is all you get.
I think re-downloads still exist. I think it's just because you can definitely similar to the 3DS, and I can re-download stuff I've bought on the 3DS for now. It's just you can't buy anything new. I think. Okay. Don't quote me on that. My 3DS is also modded. Just mod it. It's so easy. Soft mod it. Yeah, I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Wii U. Oh, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8. Again, games that got essentially ported to the Switch. With additions, because Ultimate is basically just Smash for Wii U, but better. But yeah, I have a lot of memories of this console. I will say it's holding up terribly. And Stephen, because you are such a collector of older technology, let's say, you'll I'm sure be familiar with this. The rubber on the joysticks is decomposing. It's gross to touch, to be honest.
I was very happy. I picked up an old 8-bit Super NES shaped like wireless control pad for like Bluetooth for Switch years ago, probably like 2018 or something. And I went to take it out of my bag after a recent trip, and last I looked at it, it was fine. And then all of a sudden, both of the thumbsticks just disintegrated. And they don't sell this model anymore, but I reached out to their customer support. They still sell replacement parts and hooked me up with the correct ones for it. I just took it apart, popped them in. Didn't have the right color in stock, but switch it up. Still fine. Good as new.
Yeah, that's all you need. I don't have much else to say about the Wii U. It's just a thing that I hold near and dear to my heart. Do you have one more? How many more do you have?
Oh, I got some stuff lying around here.
Go for it. Hit me with one. I only have one more, so you burn through some stuff for now.
We were talking about 3D stuff. I really miss the era when we still use smartphones for 3D.
Yeah, I have one of those somewhere. I have no idea. So it's a Galaxy VR headset.
Yeah, this is
for those
Gear VR.
Sorry, Gear VR. Gear VR. Yeah. Powered by Oculus, of course. Yeah.
Galaxy S8, I think, was the last flagship from Samsung that supported this.
I used mine with an S7 Edge for sure.
Yeah, there's some flexibility. This could handle different size phones and would clip in there and hold them sturdily. You could even interchange. We're still the era. We could use USB-C or micro USB. You had options there. And I mean, for what it was, it worked reasonably well.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have much luck with I think there was like a little controller you could use with it, but I just loved this had a touchpad on the side of the headset. So you can still navigate menus without needing anything separate, which was really cool. And I mean, I tried using this for years after they shut down the initial support. you had to like register for, this is after the Oculus got acquired by Meta, and you had to use a Facebook account. There were some hacks to keep this going. Eventually this is, you know, no longer fun to use, but I just loved the how easy it was. Just pop your phone in, you're instantly going. Oh, and this one, unlike like any modern VR headset I've used, could use with glasses on. Or no, without glasses, but you could adjust the focus so it would correct my vision.
I remember that, because I don't think I ever used it with my glasses on. I always had to take my glasses off to watch anything in it, because there were games, but you were really only using it. And in my case, you were using it to watch Netflix. That's like the only thing I ever actually did.
Yeah, but like with Vive Pro 2, I have to pop contacts in to use the thing first. Yeah.
Yeah,
and you can get like the permanent lenses.
The lenses, but it's a pain and it's a pain.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, I have such good memories of that, even though it didn't work great. And like when you would watch stuff in it, because you were just staring at a phone, you know, inches from your eyes, it would, you know, it was like maybe 480p, whatever you were watching, depending on what size you made the screen.
Yeah.
But it was my first interaction with VR, and like I was really wowed by it and enjoyed watching. You know, movies were difficult, but like I definitely watched like an episode of Gilmore Girls in VR or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, this
like,
came not that long after just the straight up like Google Cardboard.
Yeah,
you had the dinky little fold-up viewers. And this, I think, is it's the same basic tech. I mean, this has some extra sensors and stuff for tracking and that whole touchpad, but it's still just it's much more sturdy implementation of the Cardboard idea. And I tried a lot of like third-party ones over in the same time period, and they just weren't nearly as well put together and felt like a polished commercial product. So I'm sad to see that Samsung didn't stick with this, but it's fun while it lasts. Oh, and you could use like, they didn't have like 3D accessories for video, but you could use like the, they had those little the 360 action cams that you could get like a full, what's the word for it? It's not bird's eye, but all around you, spherical view, and then it wasn't in 3D, but still, it was a good way to, it made sense. You had a product for producing the content and another one for consuming it.
Yeah, no, it worked.
Samsung
that was such a fun time in consumer tech too, where it was like everything felt a little bit like a toy for adults, right? Like that Gear VR is very much a toy for adults, or I guess like teenagers or whatever. But it was not like, oh, you're gonna wear this to like do, you know, Excel work in Excel. Like you're gonna wear this to like goof around in some.
I feel like for a few years
game.
there, like the big usage case was, I mean, you get this for the holidays, and then everyone like grandpa would try it on the VR headset and probably forget 100%. About it and 2 days later, but
which is still how MetaQuest unboxings work every Christmas morning. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm so upset about Vampire Survivor. Can I just say?
Hit me. What are you upset about?
Well, they announced Vampire Survivor VR yesterday, but it's just for MetaQuest. That. Yeah, there's no Steam VR version.
So here's my hope, is that when they announced, God, I can't believe we just keep talking about these Valve announcements. That's really funny. I was like, finally,
it's
a fully
the most
non-topical.
Interesting to happen this week.
I know. The part of the announcement is that the frame runs Android APKs. So if you could just get the APK from the Quest, you can run it on the frame. Like there's nothing stopping you other than like, I guess, piracy. So like, but like also they can, if there's like, I don't know what the exclusivity deal is, but if they can port it allegedly is really easy to port these APKs that like are on the Quest over to the frame. So fingers crossed that happens.
I'm still not buying a frame, so
that's fair. But that's fair. That's how I feel about. It's just like I've really been wanting like an upgraded. I have a Quest 2, and Beat Saber's broken on it, or I would use it more. But like my modded version of Beat Saber with all the tracks all the custom tracks is like it won't launch, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass to fix. And like that should be a lot easier with the frame, in addition to just working with my Steam library a lot better. Of which I do have like a few.
To play external tracks. I stopped using the modded version of PC and still have all my add-on tracks. I just can't use the weird lighting effects and stuff.
Yeah, you needed to be able to add the like search function. You had to.
Dumb.
And then
they just went to buy all the songs through them.
Well, and I talked about this with Nick Setrich when he was on a few weeks ago, but like I would buy songs if they had more songs that I cared about, but like the stuff that I found the most fun to play on Beat Saber was like Daft Punk songs, and there's no Daft Punk collection, or at least there wasn't when I was playing it, and I don't know of a Daft Punk collection. Maybe there is now.
I've got like 4 or 5 like Daft Punk like mega mixes on mine. It's like 5 songs that all go into each other one after the other.
Yeah, exactly. But that was all user made stuff. Yeah, exactly. But it was great. It was a great time.
All from Beat Saber. Fantastic stuff.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, I the last time I tried to boot up Beat Saber, it was like, oh, this file's corrupted. You have to reinstall it, and which would remove all of the stuff. And so I just haven't bothered to fix it. And instead of doing that, apparently I'm just going to buy whatever the Steam frame ends up costing to fix it.
It sounds like a valid solution. Sure.
My final failed gadget. My first. This is the one. I'm sorry. I grabbed the one as an example because I don't have the original. But this is my HTC One M7. Not a failed gadget. Huh? What is a failed gadget is the phone it reminds me of the most. This is like the good version of it. The HTC Thunderbolt, which was my first smartphone, my first Android device, my first smartphone. Not a good device. Was really bulky. I want to say it was like 12 or 13 millimeters thick. But it was like, it had all the hallmarks of, it had terrible battery life and overheated a bunch.
God, how thick is the red hydrogen one? This is not a thin phone.
Probably, what is that, 10 millimeters, if I had to guess?
Some of us call that a centimeter.
Well, I'm not Canadian, so I don't.
It's such a popular phone, the Wikipedia listing doesn't even have any hardware specs. So
there we go.
That's cool.
The Thunderbolt it pointed to all of the stuff that phones would become, I guess, right? It had a big screen. It had 4G, so it was like very focused on
this was the first Verizon 4G phone, wasn't it?
Yes, first Verizon 4G
or
phone.
The first LTE. There was that whole era we weren't sure if HSPA Plus counted or not.
But Verizon wasn't part of
that. That's right. Verizon wasn't
because they were CDMA. Yeah.
CDMA. Yeah.
And so this was Verizon's first like LTE, and like the Droid. Ooh, I'm gonna screw this up. Oh man, one of the Droids launched like
Incredible?
Droid Max, maybe Incredible 4G, maybe like there were other devices that were launching right around the time of the Thunderbolt that also supported 4G, but this was the first one.
And they were so colorful. There was red on all these.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a cool phone. The speaker was hidden under the kickstand. It had like a metal kickstand built in. I used it for. I broke it. I definitely broke that phone. I used it, or no. I take that back. I did not break that phone. I used it until I decided that I wanted to upgrade to the Galaxy Nexus 4G LTE or Galaxy Nexus LTE. But the LTE model kind of sucked, but that it was a better phone overall than the Thunderbolt. So. Yeah, man, that's my, and I don't have one on me, so I'm using this HTC M7, one M7.
Wait, so what was wrong with the Thunderbolt though? I have only heard positive things.
Dude, I got that phone when I was in high school. I was a junior, and I would have to like carry a charger around and like throw it because I would go by the time I got it, I went to like a trade school, not to study anything useful, but to study animation and video production, and which is I guess got me here. But I would like the back half of my day was doing animation projects at a different location, and since I was at a computer all day for the 3 hours that I was there, I basically would like kill my battery during school, not even using it, just like in standby mode. It would just drain the battery on cellular. And then during the afternoon, it would be plugged into the like power strip behind the Mac I was using at this school. And like, that would get me to and from like on the 20-minute bus ride 100%. So yeah, I mean, it was the battery life was what made that phone so bad. It was just, and it was warm and it just wasn't very good. But
was the battery at least like removable? This was still that era, wasn't it?
I want to say it was removable.
Batteries and all these.
I want to say it was removable. The Galaxy Nexus had a removable
backup they could pop in.
Yeah, Thunderbolt battery. Yeah, it was removable. It doesn't look super hot. Like the picture I have here of the iFixit guide is certainly using a piece to prop out the battery, but
cool.
I do remember taking off the back panel. Yeah. So it was removable. And apparently you could buy an extended battery for it that made it look unusably bulky.
Chunk out the back. Nice.
Yeah, man. What a time. How far phones have come. Where like I reviewed the I have it somewhere. I reviewed the OnePlus 15 this week, and like if 9 to 5 gave scores, I would have given it a 7 out of 10. And I had all these complaints about it, but like is 7 out of 10 the lowest of flag? The battery's not like incredible. 7 out of 10 the lowest I can give a modern flagship these days. It might be because all of the basics are typically nailed. Like this thing is not a bad phone by any means.
Unless it just doesn't work. I mean, you have to give it some credit.
Yeah, exactly. When was the last time I used a phone that just like had a thing that truly kept me from using it as like a daily driver? I have no idea. Not this decade, probably. So yeah, man, they have come a long way, even though it feels very like a very stagnant market. All right, Stephen, we're getting towards the end. Do you have any final failures you want to shout out?
No, I'm looking around here. I have lots of stuff I could complain about, but nothing I think is an abject, like the market rejected it or the company changed its mind, wildly pivoted. So no, I think we've hit the biggies here.
Let me ask you one question out the door as we wrap up here. This week, or on this week's episode as we're recording, I asked Ben Schoen what his favorite phone of the year was. I'll broaden it a little bit for you because I don't believe you've upgraded your phone this year. In fact, I know what phone you're using. I know what phone you're using. We talked about it a week ago. But do you have a favorite gadget of the year, or maybe not even something released this year, but the favorite thing you bought this year? Give a shout out.
Yes, I do.
There we go. I knew you'd have something. Go for it.
I finally this summer acquired my ass a chamber vacuum, which if you've been using one of those edge sealer vacuums like an amateur, you are missing out.
Listener, viewer, I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to let Stephen talk about he's going to talk about this for like 3 minutes straight. It's going to be fantastic. Stephen, what is this? Explain it to me.
Well, normally, when you think of an edge sealing vacuum, you buy those fancy bags that have ridges inside so it can pull a vacuum throughout the whole thing. They're expensive, they don't work great, and because you're dealing with atmospheric pressure pushing on the bag as you're sucking air out of it, it's going to squeeze liquids or anything out of there. You have to race to seal it off before it gets up to the top, or you're going to foul the seal. It's a mess. The chamber vacuum, on the other hand, solves all these problems by evacuating the air not just in the bag itself, but in everything around it. The seal bar mechanism is within the part you're pulling a vacuum on. So you can use plain-ass bags, you don't have to use anything fancy, and you can seal liquids, you can seal dried stuff, you can control the level of the vacuum really, really precisely. It's just changed my sous vide and food preservation game in ways you can't even imagine. I'm eating cereal. You can reseal the bag the cereal comes in, so it's fresh every time. Things you wouldn't even think of.
You're not convincing me to pick up one of these. I don't have a vacuum sealer, so
huge and stupid expensive.
How much?
Not as noisy as I thought it was going to be, though.
How much
was my concern? I got a $1,000 one for $300 off Craigslist.
Okay,
and I think I got a very good value.
That's a good deal. This company should hire you. Who makes the one that you have?
VacMaster, the VP215.
There we go. They should hire you to do PR for this because now
it's a fantastic product.
Oh man,
VacMaster.
Stephen, thank you for coming on. It's always fun to talk to you.
Here, I have finishing salt that I sealed in a vacuum seal bag. See, look at that. You can take that anywhere.
Listeners are getting the Stephen Schenck experience that I've known since 2021. So it's always
and you're
fun.
Better for having known it.
Oh, I would not be the content creator I am today without you, Stephen. So thank you.
I take all the
credit. Where can people find you on the internet or in real life if you want to dox yourself?
You can read my latest writings on Android Authority, and that's pretty much it. I'm not doing so much of the social media.
That's what everybody says now. Everybody comes on and they're like, I'm not really, you can follow me on Threads if you really want to, but I'm not posting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Threads is the one that I'm on. Am I?
Yeah.
I think it's my Instagram.
I think I've seen you on Threads.
Schenck does IG.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. Yeah, well, there we go. Follow Stephen at Android Authority. You're doing great work over there, being the news editor. I know. My opinion. And thank you for listening or watching. This has been a fun walk down memory lane for me. And it was fun to dig through my box of 200 cables and find my Chromecast audio that I think I'm just going to reset up. I'm going to hope that the Google Home app lets me set that thing up, because it certainly is not connected to this Wi-Fi network.
Every day, I'm afraid this is going to stop working. Google can turn this off at any second. So make hay while the sun shines.
I have this record player and these speakers, and they're fine. They're not like incredible speakers, but they're fine bookshelf speakers behind me. And like, I'll play a record every now and then, but like, usually if I'm listening to music in this office, it's something that I want to put on and write to, and having to get up to, either flip the record or put a new record on every 15, 20 minutes or so, it can be kind of inconvenient and not exactly conducive to like writing a long review, to getting into writing something. Cause like half of the stuff behind me are like film scores. So it would be perfect for writing. I was
gonna say, I can't listen to singing while I'm writing. If I hear someone speaking, I'm just gonna start typing what they're saying.
A good probably third of what's behind me are film scores. So
you're talking about speakers there. It makes me regret that I didn't have the gadget I really wished I could have used instead of the Chromecast audio, the Nexus Q with built-in speaker amps. You just plug them right into there. Banana plug connectors. God, that was a great product for the 6 hours it existed.
I don't think it was a podcast. I think it was a 9 to 5 planning meeting. But I made a joke that we didn't know what Google was going to announce at some event, or they had teased something, and I was like, "You guys know what's coming, right? They're bringing back the Nexus Q. They're doing."
Well, I kept saying with that Samsung smart speaker, it showed off once and then.
Oh my God, the Galaxy Home, I think.
Yeah.
Fake, absolutely fake product that they've never actually canceled.
There were dozens of them at the event.
No, fake product. Thank you for listening or watching. Please remember to subscribe, to rate the podcast if your podcast platform of choice allows it. I don't know who's next week. Once again, I have not planned ahead, but it'll be somebody fun. I have a couple names in mind that I want to get on before the end of the year, so hopefully it'll be good. Also, if you have suggestions, if you have a person you want to have see me have on the show, feel free to email me, will@9to5mac.com. I don't think I've ever given that email out on the show before, but feedback, anything like that. Only if it's nice though. If it's mean, I don't want to hear it. Anyway, so we'll catch you on the next one, and have a good week. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.